Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. Hope you are enjoying it. And welcome to the month of February. I figured I might as well do a different background because the other one was more of that golden stuff that I was doing in in January. Anybody who doesn't know what I'm talking about, head over to the Space of Possibilities Facebook group. There is a link in my link tree, which is beneath this video, wherever you are watching it, and you'll be able to see the different Facebook groups that I play in. One of them is the Space of Possibilities. That's kind of like my play space. It is named after a physical office space that I used to have prior to Corona Schmarona. It's named after really a space where all things can come, can play, can just have some fun. Anyway, so in the month of, well, I've been on and off playing in the group for a long time, and for a long time I was doing book readings and book clubs and all sorts of things like that in the group, and then we were told can't read more than 30% of the book for copyright reasons. Makes perfect sense, at least of the Access Consciousness publishing books, but I believe pretty much any and all of those. And then I was like, but I love to read out loud. I so enjoy it. And I participate in all sorts of readings of the reference materials, readings of all sorts of things. And there's such a gift when we're willing to suspend belief in anything that we've ever known or been or done before or looked at before, or the way we've looked at things before. Pick up a book and just look at it with fresh eyes. Like, whoa, what gifts are there today? One of the things that I began doing in the Space of Possibilities group is destroying and uncreating, all through the month of January, destroying and uncreating different points of views that stop us from being the fullness of us. And I chose somewhere on one of those videos to the month of February dedicated to snippets of loveliness from amazing books that I have. So today I headed over to my Access Consciousness bookshelf and I asked, who would like to be shared today? What nugget of phenomenal contribution could I pick out and share? And this is the book that popped. I actually wasn't even reaching for it. And it's a brilliant book. I was heading towards one of the classics, like the How to Become Money or the Being You Changing the World. But nope, this is what popped up and said, read from me today. So this is called Relationship. Are You Sure You Want One? And it is by I guess you can't see it, Simone Milasas and Brendan Watt. It's a beautiful book. And the part that popped open that said, read me, is about congruency. Now, as you can see, this is a book about relationships. And what I'm looking at is beyond relationships, pretty much anything that you're asking. So this is one of the many books offered by Access Consciousness, using Access Consciousness tools and Access Consciousness conversations, perspective, etc. And I'll add something there too. A lot of these things are not only in Access. There are many paths to get to what it is that we'd like, which is, to be happy, to enjoy being, and that's a choice at any moment. But I love the ease, the pragmatic, the ease, the pragmatic tools, and the invitation to this irreverence knowing that you know that comes in many Access Consciousness classes. And you'll find out if you head over to a bars class, a foundation class. Well, bars class is more like you learn a body process, and that's wonderful. And you learn some other tools as well. But when you delve beyond a bars class is when the world opens up and looks magically different. And so, here we go. We are, if you do happen to have a copy of the book, this is page 100, and we're heading into the topic of congruency. Now, she's talking about a relationship. I'm going to skip down past that and say, What is congruency? As an example, well, she's saying if you're not in a relationship right now, just to give you kind of it's because you don't want one. Maybe you've been trying to appease your family to have one, whatever the case is. But you have to be honest with yourself in order to create a relationship. And I don't want to hold it in a relationship because congruency is about everything. But this is, you have to be congruent with what you're asking for. So what is congruency? As an example, let's say that you're asking to have more money in your life. Then you go out to dinner and you see a very nice wine that you would like to drink, but instantly think, book, you cannot afford it. In that split second of looking at it and then having the thought, oh, out of my price range, can't afford it, you have just uninvited money. This is not about having to buy the most expensive wine every time you go out. No, it is about recognizing that every thought, every feeling, and every emotion is something that something is not possible. Those are the lies upon which you have based your life. So you're not being congruent with you when you're functioning from a lie of this is too much. I'm going to read that again because that is huge. In that split second, when you instantly think you can't afford that wine that you saw on the menu, you have uninvited money. This is not about having to buy the most expensive wine every time you go out. It is about recognizing that every thought, every feeling, and every emotion that something is not possible, those are the lies upon which you have based your life. Being congruent with what you're asking for is coming out of the lies of impossibility. Is it true that you can't afford an expensive bottle of wine? Maybe not today, but another day you probably could. When you are energetically congruent with what you are asking for, there is a natural enthusiasm in your world. It's like a grin, a gasp, and a giggle, as a friend of mine says. It's something that just delights you because you're congruent with it. It lights you up totally. When you are energetically congruent with what you are asking for, there is a natural enthusiasm in your world. You are so inviting that people are drawn to you irresistibly and desire to gift everything to you. This is very easy to see with children when, in this case, it's the author's son and stepson. When Nash is being himself, I desire to give him the world. Nothing is a limit. When he's not being himself or acting like a surly teenager, I don't desire to give him anything. His level of receiving is not congruent with what I'm willing to gift to him. Congruency is about how things go together. When you're happy, you are congruent with your life and living. You go out and you get to work to create everything that you desire. For instance, when I wanted to go overseas for the first time, I got 3 jobs. One of my jobs was working in a bar on the weekends so I wouldn't go out with my friends and spend money in bars. I desired to travel, and getting 3 jobs was congruent with that desire. If you say you would love to create a relationship, don't sit back and do nothing, because the universe, and this is the part I was trying to get to, the universe doesn't have any limitation. You do. I'll say that again in English. The universe doesn't have any limitation. You do. If you ask for a relationship or money or anything else, travel, whatever, the universe will open all the doors that will allow it to occur. Then you just walk along, slamming them shut, saying, no, 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 maybe I'll walk through that door in 5 years' time. But what action could you take today? What choice could you make today to be a little more congruent with your asks? And this video goes a bit with yesterday's video, if you didn't see that one. and that was from the Body Whispering book about looking at energy and how it's coming in. So the first thing to notice is that energy goes beyond our thoughts, our feelings, and emotions. A lot of times when we say that we'd like something, cognitively we'd like it. How many people do you know who have some sort of terminal disease or anything else that's going on in their life? So they're complaining about money all the time, or choose your topic. There's so many different complaints about it. And yet, nothing changes with that. What are they truly asking? What's the energy that's beneath their ask? When you're willing to be congruent, when you're willing to really look, what's the energy beneath? What is it that you're truly asking for? Things show up as totally different. One of the things that Dr. Dane here in the Symphony of Possibilities classes, he's the co-creator of Access, and he's got this gorgeous body of work called Symphony of Possibilities. And there's lots of us around who are Symphony advanced practitioners or people who've taken a Symphony of Possibility class and enjoy playing with the energies. Well, one of the things that we do, and I'm a Symphony advanced practitioner, I love these tools. I love the energetic conversation and the getting congruent. In a session, he'll ask, hey, so what's up? If you could get anything out of this, what would you like to receive? If you could get anything out of this, if you could get anything, the universe is your oyster. If you could have anything out of this, what would you truly like to receive? And sometimes it takes multiple asking that same question. No, not that. What do you truly desire from this session? And they'll say something, but it's like really surface level. It's really mental. It's really cognitive. It isn't that thing that makes you gasp or grin or giggle or have that, what did Simone call it? The enthusiasm. When you are energetically congruent with what you are asking for, there is that natural enthusiasm in your world. Something just delights you. Have a look if you're willing. Because sometimes this stuff, it takes being courageous, It takes being courageous to look at what you're asking for. It takes courage to be honest with yourself, truly honest with yourself and say, this thing that I've said that I'm asking for, I've pretended I'm asking for, I've held on to forever. I've decided that that's what I'd like, but it's not necessarily what I'd really like. So, what is that for you with what you're asking for? Is everything that's showing up in your life now or before is something that you cognitively or not so cognitively asked for? And until you recognize that you are the chooser, you are the asker, and you are the one who's willing to receive or not, nothing can change. Because it is your choosing, your asking, that brings it into fruition. So what is it that you've been saying for a long time that you'd like to be, to have, to do, to create, that you still don't have actualized in your life? And what choice could you make today to get a little clearer on what you're truly asking for? Is that thing that you've been saying, oh, I gotta do that, I really should do that, is that really what delights you? Is that really what has this burning enthusiasm for getting up in the morning and enjoying things? Is that beneath your ask? Or is it just another day when you slam on the snooze button again and again and avoid getting up because there is no joy in that ask for you? And, just looking at it in a different way, what would it be like if every single day your enthusiasm for being, for your asks, be just something that is so delightful for you, so amazing for you, that living become an ongoing celebration, adventure, phenomenons. And it's our choice in every moment. And I certainly don't have it all right by any stretch of the imagination. There are a lot of things that I say I like, oh, yes, I'd like this, but am I actually doing anything about it? Oh, yes, I'd like to have more ease with my body. How often do I override my body? How often do I not take action or choose for the things that I'd like to have, or that I think I'd like to have? Like, who am I liking to have all of those for? So anyway, before I go off on an even bigger ADD tangent, because my brain goes in multiple directions all at the same time, and I have to rein in the horses lest more conversations pop up. But that's one of the gifts of being an X person. So, whoa, how does it get any better than that? Thank you for being here. Hope this contributed in some interesting way to your life and what else is possible. Ciao, ciao.